2, 1. We are live in game 1 of the final for the first qualification tournament for the Anniversary Classic. In the south, yet again, if you just watch the semi-finals with us live, you're seeing the same players with the same factions. It's Scotch and Nagano as double Soviets. Who do they find this time in the north?
Well, it's going to be the first time that we've cast them today. Their opponents are going to be formidable ones, playing as the Austere. Already locking in his commander is Jaeger armor. It's Kimbo Mad Slice, and he's going to be backed up. Well, maybe not backed up, but assisted by his OKW partner, Stuve.
Stuve and Kimbo. A fearsome pairing. So we have 3 Polish players playing from the north of Rails and Metal in 2 games in a row. This time, Kimbo is the end game boss. He is fighting in the final. And the winners of this match, this best of 3 encounter, get seed numero uno for the Anniversary Classic. And that's
It's an important match. It's a really important match for that, actually. I expect that both of these teams are going to fight very hard. You know, it's like we've watched Nagano and Scotch put a lot of effort into good play in this tournament. They're probably going to want to win this quite confidently. It gives them a chance to take a break, you know? Take a break, practice in private.
Yes, exactly.
It's always an advantage.
Well, all of these players will be in the finals. They've reached the final 4. The finals being, sorry, on the 8th and 9th of December. Dan and I casting from a studio. You're going to be treated to the Anniversary Classic finals. And this is a battle for seeding. And considering the tournament is going to be for £10,000 split between the winners, that is a hell of a lot of money. So every single possible way you can better your chances matters.
Good play from Stuve at the start of the game. Got a Stern Pioneer into the trenches on the VP left side. Managed to force away the conscripts. And really important that Axis take that left-hand side of the map. I always say this, but I just think, you know, that's the easy access to their fuel. That's where they have like the most cover from buildings and green cover. You know, the small walls that surround the center. It's a really good position for them.
Conscripts bullied away by the Stern Pioneers and the Foch Grenadiers in tandem. Not as easy of a start for GP2 in this particular game. Grenadiers forcing away this particular set of conscripts. We've got Nagano here, forming a firing line like a Napoleon era army.
You watch these guys, Nagano and Scotch, like clockwork. Both of them retreated their engineers back to the base. They're going into tier 2. It's a bit of a replica of the 3rd game of the last series that we cast. Nothing different about it, do you know what I mean? They've clearly got a very solid timed build for this map, but their opponents are playing much better this time around.
Well, they're having a good time of it. Foch Grenadiers have forced them away in the north. Great play from this young pairing. Stu in his early 20s. Kimbo just hitting 18 this year. Very young guys. They've got a lot of ferocity about the way they play, and they've practiced damn hard for this tournament. Nice flamethrower usage. Jumping into the garrison and force away the conscripts with a plum and a lick of flame.
You're right to say, I mean, that they're both very good players. It was obviously a shame we didn't get to see more of Kimbo in GCS for a variety of reasons. But you know, he's been a lot more careful here, and it's good to actually see him in the tournament setting. He's a very capable player, very highly skilled, as you said. And I think this is a final that a lot of people want to see. You've got one of the best 2v2 teams, you know, that has been in the game, period, against a combination of some of the best new, vibrant players. It is the old versus the new in every asset.
Money talks, and in this case, it is told all the players that have sometimes thought trolling and having a laugh is more important to them than, you know, playing serious business. Those said players are playing serious business for this tournament because the stakes are so high. Oh, Pioneer going down here. Yes, it indeed does, with a burst of flame. The stakes are so high here, they have no other choice. And Kimbo ain't going to say anything stupid. He's going to play his damnedest. He's going to practice as hard as he can. Ooh, nice flank by this combat engineer. Sniper's actually going to go deeper into enemy territory to avoid and probably vault away. There you go. Nice parkour-like maneuver there. Elsewhere, Stern Pioneers launch into this engagement. Focus Grenadiers backing them up. It's all about the south, though, for now.
That sniper is still in trouble. Actually got a bit of a weird retreat path through the engineers. It could be a flame. It's got to cross through negative cover. Will it go down? Yes, it does. Nice pickup from Scotch at the start of the game. That is not a good investment for Kimbo.
No, Kimbo tried to be too clever there with his soft retreating and backpedaling. He thought it was safe, as did I, quite frankly. But it was not, and the combat engineer got him. Reinforced steel barricade coming up there. Meanwhile, Focus Grenadier is distracting this Maxim. But it's got backup, but it's making the situation a little bit more tenuous than it needs to be. Will the Allies be able to form a strong defense and keep their fuel and one victory point? Not often you see a battle in this segment of the map in the west.
No, not at all. I mean, I don't think that Nagano put loads of emphasis on the left side. After he got pushed off at the start, there's been a couple of scrappy engagements there, but nothing significant. What he needs to do, which I think is what he's doing correctly, protect their VPs, protect their, the fuel resource. They want to get that T-70 out as quick as possible, and make sure they're both able to get it.
There we go. STGs have now popped. You can do that in enemy territory with Focus Grenadiers, one of the unique elements of them. They find the Maxim in a dire situation, and they're now in a position to throw an incendiary grenade, which they do. Maxim vacates the premises. Eviction notice given via way of a fiery grenade.
Good communication there, it's like players clearly letting them know, hey, you're going to get an incendiary grenade in that house, get out. I mean, you can see that there's synergy between Nagano and Scotch. They're actually going over to help each other. They're, conferring with each other about when it's okay to spread out a little bit more.
And that kind of chat really does help matters. It allows for those pivotal moments that we're seeing right now. Grenadiers on low health, yes, but they're able to keep firing. Meanwhile, Nagano changes tact, comes into things. We've got 2 Maxims from the other direction, so these Grenadiers very low health from Kimbo. Has to get out of there. Let's check out what's happening in the west. Stern Pioneers getting leery. There is a Maxim waiting for them. Now, Dan, now that Scotch and Nagano are rolling out the Maxim, do you think the tides of battle may change?
Possibly. Very hard to say. Very hard to say. I mean, actually, Soviets have a very slow start. We know this. So, when the Maxims pick up, then yes, we're not going to have those issues where the Gren blobs are competing evenly with the conscripts. What I think is interesting, though, have a look at Stuve. He's already put down 2 SWS trucks. He's gone for the Schwerpanzer headquarters, which he's got able to afford already. So he's going to be able to protect the fuel. And that just goes to show how much map control they've had from the start of the game. That's very fast.
They've dominated. They've had a good amount of the Western Standard Territory points as well. So this point here, and notably this point here, they were able to capture, which is indicative of overall map dominance. And that means that they've had all those +3 fuels, and they've added up. Nice Ziscum barrage, but it is missing the mark. They've grouped up, and that's just going to hit the crane instead. Maxim decrewed, retaken by the conscripts. No auto-retreat. Instead, they linger.
I really enjoy, actually, what Kimbo is doing. Not enough players, I think, use recon effectively. Kimbo is able to see with this recon plane that tier 3 has gone up for both players. That's going to allow him and Stuve to, preempt, maybe get some things in the build that are going to defend against a potential double T-70. I really like that. I really like the use of recon.
Me too. It's a great...
I mean, recon as a tool is just so underused, Stuve could lose a Volksgrenadier in the center there. It's a bit of a late retreat. Very low health. Conscripts are still zoning it.
What a Zis barrage! Horrific Zis barrage, and the Mosinagants get the kill. Nice tandem attack by Nagano.
Wow.
So we are going to see probably an early Panzer IV by Stuve, but it is going to be rather a large amount of time relative to the 10 minutes we've seen so far of this battle until we actually get the fuel required for the Panzer IV, of course, it costing 140 in total. Just hitting 60 now, so he's... goes up in a plume of blood, thanks to the newly built sniper of Kimbo. Well, not newly built, but it was rebuilt, rather, thanks to the harrowing death of the previous occupants of said scoped rifle.
I mean, this opportunity to go for the Panzer IV. I mean, at the moment, actually, it looks like maybe Stuve is banking a little bit of manpower, expecting to build something like that. He's actually not responding to what the Soviets have on the field. There's going to be like a window where these two T-70s just wreak havoc. The Panzerschwerer is a good choice because obviously the T-70s are going to struggle to take that down, so lock down the fuel at least. But a bit worried about the rest of the map. This is giving Allies a lot of resources.
It is, and the T-70's time is going to be limited. We have now just had the PaK-40 also hit the field. So PaK-40 and Raketten will do the dirty. Only one kill on Scotch's T-70. And the other has also the one kill, so not that much work done. Just enough to force them away from this southeastern side of the map. Must be noted, however, they do currently occupy the centre and the northern victory point, thanks to this ever-watchful Maxim.
Oh, there's a nice flank on the left-hand side of the map. You see Volksgrenadiers trying to get around the cone of fire. There is low health on that Maxim as well, so they should be able to rush in and clear that away.
Tried to reposition, it hasn't worked. The Volksgrenadiers march on regardless. Let's talk a little bit about Stuve's choice of commander. He's gone for the Firestorm doctrine.
I don't see anything wrong with this, to be honest. Flammenhetzer isn't bad against, you know, Maxims and things like that, so... but I don't know if he'll use it for that. It's potential that maybe he'll go for ISGs, then he'll get the incendiary rounds, the Stuka, you know, later on in the game. It's really nice for clearing out all those defensive positions in the center. So,
oh, another huge Zis barrage! Volksgrenadier has such little health. T-70 pushes in, one last shot, misses. So much manpower, casualties and fatalities.
Here's the Flammenhetzer for Stuve. He's actually brought it in already. I don't mind this as a choice, honestly. I think against, you know, against conscripts, against the support weapons, it's actually very tricky to play against because of the flame residual.
Conscripts could take out the MG34, but it is in the loving arms of the Schwerpanzer headquarters. So it should be fine. But T-70 pushes forward. So Stuve, surprisingly, hasn't obviously gone for the Panzer IV we predicted. He's gone for something incredibly surprising. It is the Flame Hetzer. But it is an
very
old...
sneaky Raketten coming up on that T-70 in the center. He's actually given himself enough of a cone of fire. Oh, actually, he's not going to do it. He's just using it as recon.
Okay, interesting. Maybe just
there's the Flammenhetzer at work.
Ooh, Flammenhetzer eats a shot from the Zisgun and the T-70. Second one, thankfully, bounces. PaK-40 returns fire. Rakettenwerfer, that was doing a bit of espionage in the centre. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, it finally strikes like a coiled cobra and forces away the T-70. Zisgun barrages again on point.
They're very, very good. I mean, there was a time when they weren't really worth the munitions. These days, one of the most powerful munitions-based indirect fire available.
They are, especially with clumped units and Vet 2 combat engineers. I always say retreat a Vet 2 combat engineer because they're so useful for repairs. But he's managed to cap regardless, and he's done that just now. Triple cap again. Soon for the Allies. There you go. Just capped in the south. He's currently fighting in the north. May get the kill. Mosin-Nagant accuracies ain't the best. 70 firing. Hetzer hetzing. Oh, conscripts could go down to the Hetzer. One last lick of flame wasn't enough. Zisgun watches over, misses.
We have got tier 4 gone down for both Nagano and Kimbo. So both players have tacked up to the very late stages of available vehicles. Interested to see what they're both going to get. I wouldn't be surprised to see an SU-85 in this game, actually.
It is going to be the...
for Kimbo, going to be the Brumbear.
Indeed. Le Professeur of Destruction. The Brumbear's residency is in action. Very short. Is in session, that's the phrase. Anyway, Big Zisbarosh takes out the Rakettenwerfer with its first volley. Other Rakettenwerfer as well. It's Pack 14. Wait, can it get the killing blow? Not quite, and the T-70 decrews the other Rakettenwerfer. This could be big. Flame Hetzers in peril. Should be safe. Hey, well, that T-70 could have gone in then. Could have tried to get around the back of the Pack 40, perhaps.
Still very risky, I think. I mean, it's kind of good with the Flammenhetzer that it's very highly armored. It's such a good choice against the T-70s, really, because it suffers nothing. But this that's just entered the field is a real talking point. Brumbear is going to be very, very good against the support weapons on the field for Soviets right now. And it is the dominant vehicle as of yet.
It absolutely is. All kinds of indirect fire dominance. This Maxim's going to be destroyed almost. There's a mine so close to it, so I was very expectant there. Sniper, by the way, has already gotten 32 kills and counting. Look at that thing.
It's a really good amount of kills actually for this time in the game. It showed it has very active use. Just interesting, actually, with this Brumbear on the field, again, we're talking about what's going to come out for Nagano. It's 9 CPs at the moment. Got a choice. You can either save for the IS-2. You can either get something from Tier 4 immediately. It's an important choice, though.
Huge area of effect from the Brumbear, causing all kinds of problems for Scotch. He's forced back from this point for the first time in a long time. Meanwhile, possibly... Yes, we do see the aggression from Stuve. I was going to say there's not enough of it. Now they've forced themselves forward. Hetzer with 12 kills.
This is a great unit to bring out on this map. I think anybody that's questioning this unit choice, you can see how good it is at just negating the green cover positions across the center. It's just invaluable as a tool for that.
Ooh, combat engineers got very close to taking out that grenadier. We have a pack lined up and ready for the T-70. Meanwhile, in the center, Hetz is on.
Right, SU-85 was the unit of choice for Nagano. I think that's a very, very sensible choice to keep that Brumbear from gaining too much veterancy on the right. Very even game so far, actually.
Beautifully poised game. I like the fact that Axis have now forced themselves back into this and capture some victory points. And to be honest, the Allies' disparity isn't as much as I thought it could be. Huge Zisbarosh again. These Zisbaroshes have been brutal.
Look at this combination. I love this. If they use the T-70 recon to spot for the SU-85, it can still move quickly, still fire at that max range. Brumbear is actually on a low health already. Main gun destroyed. That was from the AT gun. Looks like there's an opportunity to go in, and the T-70 takes off recon mode.
Will they go for it? There is a two-man pack waiting. Brumbear looks safer now. It's gotten to that narrow channel in that small settlement on the hill. Ooh, the Hetz has just taken out with a vile effluence of flame. That's this gun.
Raketten's probably going to clear up that AT gun as well if Stuve's paying attention. There we go. It's a really good, really good move there just to deny any further AT. But this SU-85 also dealing with a Raketten for Axis, so equalizing that decision.
Rifle nade dodged by the Zis. It was capturing. Well, it was a fakie. Just the noise. Sentry grenade in the northern conscripts. They're replaced with combat engineers and tag out to keep control of the victory point. T-70 just surveying the center, both of them, giving excellent line of sight. Just look at this. Look how far they can see with these T-70. This is why they may be receiving a small nerf in the future. They can see pretty much a third of the map. Elsewhere in the north, combat engineers doing donkey work, capping, but it's very vital work that goes often unsung and unmentioned.
I'm not sure that I feel this Su-85 is getting good value for money at the moment. Needs to be really careful, doesn't walk too close to these double Raketans. One opens up, where's the second? What has just happened? That is very uncool. And at this point, I actually think Scotch has to make a decision as to whether he keeps playing or not.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
Ah, the dreaded crash of crashes. How will the AI fare? Scotch has surrendered. There we go. As the drama unfolds, as we get even more intense action as we roll on.
Victory is ours.
Are you on a wait screen or something?
No, listening to the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme music.
Oh. Well, I was gonna say, like, if I could talk.
Yes, of course.
That's a real shame, to be honest, because that was a very good game, and for a number of reasons. Even using like the Firestorm doctrine, and I actually really like games where people can take a unit that everyone thinks is bad and showcase where it can be good. And Stuve was doing that very well by showing how it can use the line of sight and burn across this nice big wall of green cover. Did that very well. The whole play from Stuve there was very interesting, and would love to have seen that gone the whole way. But yeah, I guess we have to wait for a bit of a discussion now from the refs.
It's just a rematch. But
yeah, it's
there is
fairly
actually an
clear-cut,
unsung hero of this tournament. Big thanks for the guy supplying the IT for this tournament and the computers the players are playing on. DevM has decided to put his hat in and supply everybody with PCs, which is good. Then it's a joke because he had a bug split. Please, help me out here. That was funny. Completely no-sold it. Anywho.
Sorry, no, it was. I was just reading. That's all.
Okay. Better than listening to me, that's for certain.